Hello everyone, welcome to another SunCat Byte. In this SunCat Byte, we're going to cover a few different topics. Those topics will be program format, keywords, and style. So first things first, looking at program format in C++ programs. So there's two important things to realize or to look at when we look at program format. Those two things are, one, C++ is case sensitive. That means that uppercase and lowercase makes a difference. So in C++, if you see something like this, name, or name, or name, all of those are viewed differently by the language because the language is case sensitive. The other important thing that we need to realize is that C++ uses functions. So C++ programs are written inside of functions. Characteristics of functions have a specific format with one entry point and one exit point. They have a name and a means or a method to pass data in and get data out. They do program tasks. And in C++, the main function is a starting point for all of our programs. So looking at a general format of C++, we can look at Hello World, which we've actually looked at previously. So some Hello World code would look like this. Say we had a comment, getting started with Hello World. Two comments there. And we have this statement. And this statement. Using namespace standard and our main function. And we have our cout statement of Hello World, which outputs Hello World to the screen. And our return statement from our function. So this is a general C++ program. Notice we have a few things here. We have comments here, which are exactly what they sound like. They're just text to tell the person reading the program, usually another programmer or maybe yourself, what's going on with the program. You can have comments in this format. These are line comments with slash, or single line comments with the slash. Or you can have what are called multi-line comments, which use a /*. It would look something like this. That's a multiple line comment. In our general format, we will have comments. We'll have preprocessor directives. In this case, it's our include. So that's a preprocessor directive telling us that we're going to use the IOStream library. This IOStream library is used because it actually contains this cout statement. Using namespace standard, that's done because standard namespace in C++ as the standard C++ libraries. One reason we do it, and another is that each programmer can actually have their own namespace. And the reason we do that is it avoids functions of the same name, overlapping code. So in big programming projects, these things are used. And then also here, so we have a function header line. You see here, int main, that's a function header line. And that's of the format return type. So function name, input, parameter list. So in this case, the return type is int, the function name is main, and we have no parameters because this is blank. Then at the bottom, we have a couple C++ statements, which is cout and return. So that's it. That's our general format. So to start, our programs will have all of these things. We will have preprocessor directives. We will always use the standard namespace in this course. We will always have an int name where our program starts, and then you're going to have C++ statements here. Open and closing curly braces show where the main function begins and ends. So that's our general program format. So as we go through C++, and we've talked about this before, the syntax that we must follow, right? Rules of the language that must be followed. And if we think back, we have the compiler, which enforces these rules. Okay, so an example of this would be pound include proper syntax. If you did pound, so this is proper syntax. So you did pound include improper. This would give you a compile error. So you did uppercase pound include. Pound include, not hashtag. Not on social networking or programming. Pound include, guys. So pound include improper. And this would also be a compile error. All right, so in C++, we have some keywords. There's many keywords in C++. Some of the ones that we've actually already seen were int, return, and namespace. Those are a few of the keywords we've already looked at. So C actually had 32 keywords built in. C++ expands this number of keywords, 63 different keywords in C++. Those keywords are all of these. So as you can see, here's the return. There's return, which we've already seen. Int is here, and include is also in this list. So there's some of the ones that we've already seen. There's a number of others. These are keywords. They can't be used in other places in your code. They have to be used for their intended purpose. This table is also in your book and in the accompanying slides. Okay, so now, talked about the keywords, talked about general program format. What about style? 2 comments on style. First, you should always have descriptive comments. Comments on comments. My comment on comments. Comment should be descriptive. You should have appropriate variable and function names. You should indent your source code. Indent source code. In this case, we're using Visual Studio in this class, which is considered an integrated development environment, or IDE. And it's basically a program to write programs. As you're writing programs in Visual Studio, it will indent for you. Let it do that. It makes life easier, and it's one of the advantages to using an IDE, or integrated development environment. The other example, make it look good / pretty as you go. This is really went along with the indentation that we were talking about. So your comment should explain your logic, okay? So for instance, say if we said found include IOStream, we put a comment that said needed for screen / keyboard IO, or input output. That's a good comment. Say we did this. You have pound include IOStream again. We said include IOStream library. Not a good comment. We want to have comments that are descriptive. This comment is descriptive. This comment is not. So to give you an example of good style, we have a couple of programs we can look at. First of these programs is called Love to Hate. So as you can see, we've got this coding style you love to hate. These are our multi-line comments here. IOStream library using namespace standard. Notice how the comments are actually bunched up next to here. Everything is together. There's not really much spacing. End of program here. We have these curly braces that are on the same line as the function declaration and the return statement here. Or I'm sorry, the beginning of the function here when we call int main. So this program will run. We can build it here. We can compile it. Notice at the bottom we get no error messages. So then we can debug it. Say start without debugging. The program runs. I am a programmer. This is great code. Do you like my style? I'm all finished now. Well, it's actually not great code, but the output looks pretty good still, right? So say we take the same type of program, has the same output, but here notice comment is up top. There's some space here. You can clearly see the preprocessor directive for including the IOStream library. Comment here is spaced using namespace standard here. Another space, you can clearly see the main function. We have indenting here for all of these cout statements. Some more comments here, and we can run this code. Now it's very clear what's going on. And we actually are going to get the same output as the other program, but this one is much easier to read. Looking at the two side by side, you can see the difference. So just an example, this code is, their examples 2.5 and 2.6 in the sample code that's up on Blackboard, so you can always download these. I encourage you to actually download the sample code that we go over in lectures. And then the other sample code, if you have questions on it, please do reach out to me via email or on our discussion board or during office hours. But this will be it for this lecture. So there's a little bit more information for you here, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.